Does this presidential administration want to see a spike in suicides? Let's break that down. Hi, I'm Melba Pearson, also known as the Resident Legal Diva, and this is The Breakdown. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for Legal AF to stay on top of all the breaking legal news and commentary coming out of this administration. So, this is about 988. Hopefully a lot of y'all have heard of this, but 988 is a hotline that was launched back in 2022. It's basically the mental health equivalent of 911. When you call 988, you can press 1 and that will give services for veterans. You can press 2 and that gives services in Spanish, or you can press 3 and be directed to resources for LGBTQ people and especially LGBTQ youth. Now, the focus is going to be on number 3. So not only in calling 988 can you hit 3 and get access to services, young people can also text the word pride to 988, and that also will enable them to be connected with services. Now, most of the time, these are people that work with the Trevor Project, which is our country's leading LGBTQ youth crisis organization. So again, this was launched in 2022. It was a bipartisan effort, federally funded, and more than 1 million LGBTQ youth have used this since its inception. But now it's a new administration. Yes, and remember, elections have consequences. So this vital service is now on the chopping block. So there's a current proposal that eliminates all federal funding for the LGBTQ youth specialized services arm of 988, and that would be effective as of October 1st of this year. So this option, let's be clear, that this isn't about money. This option runs about $50 million a year, and that's less than 0.1% of the U.S. Health and Human Services Department's budget. So it's like nothing. It's like a drop in the bucket. So this isn't about cost savings. Interestingly enough, veteran services stay fully funded, as well it should, let's be clear, but what's up with the double standard? I mean, yes, we have to make sure that our vets are okay from coming back from war, but what about our young people? And it's not an either or. Like all of these services operated in tandem. It wasn't an issue. So why are you going to leave these kids out here with no resources? So some folks are like, oh, but the Trevor Project still has its own hotline. What's the problem? You know, kids can still be able to get resources. But yeah, Trevor Project also relies on federal funding. There's that. So with less funding, they're going to have less counselors. And with less counselors, there's going to be longer waits. And that also results in a smaller reach. So if somebody is actively suicidal and they call the hotline and they're sitting there on hold, that's not going to enable them to talk themselves down from doing something irreversible. That's just the reality of it all. And let's get into some stats as to why this is actually needed. So first off, suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people between ages of 10 and 14, and the third leading cause of death among 15 to 24-year-olds. And that's from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. LGBTQ plus youth are more than 4 times as likely to attempt suicide than their peers. And the Trevor Project estimates that more than 1.8 million LGBTQ plus young people, that's talking about ages 13 to 24, seriously consider suicide each year in the US. And at least one attempts suicide every 45 seconds. Every 45 seconds. So literally, in the time that it takes for me to do this video, how many kids are we looking at that attempted to commit suicide? I mean, we're basically talking 1 a minute. If this is around 10 minutes, that's 10 kids that tried to kill themselves in the last 10 minutes. And we're cutting funding for this again. Why? Oh, because we hate LGBTQ people? That's what this is about? Okay. And also interesting to note that Robert Kennedy Jr., Well, sadly, his wife died from suicide. So you would think, as Health and Human Services Secretary, that this would be an issue close to his heart, that he would stand in the paint and be like, no, don't defund any of these services to prevent suicide. But clearly he's got other priorities and other things on his mind, right? Like swimming in sewage and stupid crap like that. So, unfortunately, this is where we are. So again, it's going to be incumbent on local groups to try and come together to kind of pool the limited resources they have. It's going to be incumbent on all of us to donate to organizations like the Trevor Project so that they can continue to do the life-saving work that they have been engaged in. And again, it's just a tragedy and a travesty that the government is abandoning all these different marginalized populations who need the help. That's what our government is supposed to do. We're not saying the government is supposed to babysit, but again, you're supposed to try and help and make sure that all the people in your country are doing okay to the best of their ability, that they have resources to be able to address mental health and address other issues. That's what a government of the people, for the people, by the people is supposed to do. Let's not forget that. I'm Melba Pearson, also known as the Resident Legal Diva, and this was The Breakdown. Take care.
I'm Michael Popak, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popak Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popak Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popak Firm today at 1-877-POPAK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopakfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popak Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.